Hi, I'm Bill Patrick. The program you're about to see is part of a vintage series called Car and Track, which was originally produced during the first half of the 1970s. Before we begin the show, though, a brief program note. Using as many as 8 cameras to shoot a single event, Car and Track captured some of the great NASCAR competitions of the era, one race at a time. Over the course of some 80 episodes through 6 seasons, series producer and host Bud Lindeman lovingly documented a unique era in American motor racing. While the race action contained in the series remains timeless, the program itself has not dated quite so gracefully. Although the years have not been overly kind to Bud's decidedly low-key introductions and interviews, we believe them to be an integral part of this one-of-a-kind series. So please, stay with us now as Speed Vision presents a rare slice of 1970s Americana, Car and Track.
If Speed turns you on, this one has your name on it. We span the country for racing material on most of our shows, but for this one, we never left the state of Wisconsin. Part 1 of our trip constituted a stop at Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove, where we found some of the country's top nitro fuelers and wheel standers. And the bite was sensational, so were the speeds. 1 week later, we toured up to Milwaukee to catch the Rex Mays Memorial with the USAC championship cars. They were all there, including the Johnny Lightning Special. Our test car of the week is a big, brawling Chrysler New Yorker. The 440 cubic incher made it a real luxury hauler. Hey, we'll be back with all the hot rubber in just 1 minute. Union Grove is a city well known to the drag fans in Wisconsin and Illinois. Some time ago, Bob Metzler issued us a standing invitation to his Great Lakes Dragway. When he told us about this event, we decided to pack the cameras and go. We were greeted by some of the top nitro fuelers in the nation, as well as some of the most frantic wheel standers ever to run the quarter mile. Well, with the weather clear and the track fast, it was an action-packed day to say the least. It also gave us the chance to preview some of the cars to appear later this year in the Nationals. Great Lakes Dragway with a vast, wide, 1,320-foot one-way street. Perfect weather, a jam-packed crowd. It was an ideal setting for a gathering of the monsters. The top speed merchants in the business were here. With them, the most exotic and powerful racing machines in the world. The first round elimination started with a pair-off of Nicole and LaHaye. It's an easy win for Jim Nicole with an ET of 6.90. Here's the big daddy himself, Don Garlits, going in lane 1 against the Puzzler. Garlits runs away with it and clocks a speed of 199.55 miles per hour. The Golden Greek, Chris Karamencinas, wins his first round against Nemeth and Novelli with a 6.82, 200 miles an hour, and Novelli blows through the track. Then it's Don Prudhomme in the Hot Wheels Special against the American Express. Prudhomme gets a beautiful hole shot and a winning ET of 6.83 to Johnny Paulson's 7.55. Tommy Ivo wins his first match against the Hot Rod Shop with an ET of 6.74 at 197 miles per hour. Fritz and Donovan go against Jim Nicole's rear-engine car in a wheel-to-wheel crowd pleaser. They come up with a 6.78 to Nicole's 6.83. This time, it's the Spirit, driven by Arnie Bailing in lane 1, Steve Carboni in lane 2. Carboni has always been a tough competitor, and nothing's changed as he screams to a 7.05 win over Bruce Dodd's Spirit. Bob Anderson gets a bad jump off the line, but comes on strong to beat Don Cook through the traps. Here's one we've been waiting for, Tom McEwen's Mongoose, staging with Mel Hoy in the Swamp Fox. McEwen proves to be too much for Mel Hoy as he sizzles out a 6.76 at 205 miles per hour. With the Fuelers' first round over, it was time for the wheel standers. Bill Shrewsbury with the L.A. Dart in lane 2 and Francis Monahan in lane 1. Watch them, they're wild. Both cars are up for the full run. Monahan wins it, and it looks like Shrewsbury may go all the way to Milwaukee on the rear wheel. Now it's the Red Baron against Dick Hutchins' Chevy Rebellion. Hutchins comes from behind to win it with an ET of 11.80. Here, Bob Perry's fugitive Corvette lines up with the trash truck. Look out, the trash truck lost it. When he bounced off the vet, the trash truck veered across the grass and through the wooden fence. The crews and ambulance are there in a hurry. Here's the accident again from a different angle. The Hemi under glass stages with Bill Golden's Little Red Wagon. Bob Riggle takes the win in the Hemi under glass at 10.93 at over 125 miles an hour and on the rear wheel. With this run, Dick Brown in the Crates and Donovan Special put Tommy Ivo on the trailer with a winning ET of 6.62 at 215 miles per hour. Now down the Snake, Prudhomme moves up to the line against John Wiebe. Prudhomme's hot wheels are too hot for Wiebe, and Don screams through the traps with a time of 6.66. The tension builds and the crowd is up as the wheel standers come out of the staging area and up to the line. Dick Hutchins of the Chevy Rebellion whips the Little Red Wagon in this run by staying on the rear wheels for the full quarter mile. The Chevy Rebellion went on to the third round where he met up with Bob Perry's famous fugitive Corvette. The fugitive barks through the traps, wheels up to take the win, and Bob Perry will be back for the final runoff. This run decides which car faces the fugitive in the final. The Red Baron in lane 1 and the Hemi under glass in lane 2. Bob Riggle puts the nose in the air and the Hemi through the traps first with an ET of 11.54. Dick Brown puts the wraps on the Snake as the Crates and Donovan car explodes through the traps with an ET of 6.55 at a speed of 228 miles per hour. The Golden Greek, Karaman Sinas, polishes off Bob Anderson in this third round with a time of 6.73. And here's the big one, the final run for the wheel standers. Two screamers put down a bed of rubber. The fugitive in lane 1, the Hemi under glass in lane 2, and the countdown is on. Both
cars get a beautiful hole shot and fire into the air, but Wriggles lets the Hemi cross the center line, and the wheels come down. Perry's run is perfect, with the nose up all the way, and the Fugitive is the final winner. And here's the final go for the Nitro Fuelers. Chris the Golden Greek in lane 1, with the Creighton Donovan Bullet driven by Vic Brown in lane 2. There's a malfunction, and Chris never leaves the line. It's a solo run for Vic Brown all the way as he wins the Great Lakes Spring Olympics. Karamancinis climbs out of his car with a full realization that this was not his day. The Creighton Donovan missile made 4 brilliant runs, and for the pilot Vic Brown, it was a beautiful Sunday.
Where the Chrysler stable is concerned, the New Yorker, I guess, has always been our favorite. And when Moon Mullins and Tony Weiss called to tell us our tester was ready and had a 440 cubic incher up front, well, we grabbed it in a hurry. This car was as pretty in real life as it is in the brochure. But along with all the poshiness typical of a luxury car, it had a lot of muscle in the legs as well as under the hood.
The 71 New Yorker was actually slated for a much bigger facelift, but economy dictated changes for only the grille and rear end. The car still rides on a 124-inch wheelbase. By maintaining the fuselage body, they continue to offer maximum people space on the interior, which, by the way, is a close comparison to your own living room. The seats were big, pretty, and maybe a little too soft. This 440 cubic incher is what makes everything happen, delivering 335 horsepower at 4,400 RPMs and detuned for the low-lead gasoline. With all that machinery going for us, we decided to try the acceleration runs and wrapped 30 in 3.8 seconds. 50 miles per hour ate up 6 seconds on our clock. That 440 is a big honker. When we headed for 60, it tripped the lights in 8.7 seconds. And with those plush seats, stereo, and air conditioning, at no time was our driver uncomfortable. In the braking test, we only rated the New Yorker fair. From 30, we stopped in 41 feet. Our tester had discs up front with drums in the rear. Quite a bit of correction was necessary to keep it in a straight line. From 50, 96 feet. In our 70-mile-an-hour panic stops, the usual Chrysler rear wheel hop became prevalent. This one took 204 feet to skip to a stop. Even the footprints gave evidence to the rear wheel action. Now here's that same stop in slow motion. Watch that rear end. On the interior, there's almost enough vibration to rattle your teeth loose. Through the pylon course, we noticed that body lean was not excessive. Torsion bars in the front, plus stiffer spring rates, make the New Yorker a good handler, and almost in a class by itself when compared with other luxury car offerings. Recovery, even toward the end of the run, was good. The big New Yorker really worked through the corners. There was some understeer going in, but with the power furnished by the 440, you can almost neutralize it. At high speed, the front end displayed some tendency to wash out and plow. However, it wasn't that bad, especially when you consider the tremendous weight in the nose. We had a torsion bar with wishbones up front and a live axle plus leaf springs in the rear. In all our cornering tests, we felt that the stability of the car was excellent, and there was no sacrifice of riding quality on the road, even with a comparatively stiffer suspension. The brakes were the weakest link in the Chrysler chain, and there were a few smaller items we'd like to have changed, but then these things might be construed as a matter of personal preference. For the most part, we were happy. We found a big car with the ultimate in luxurious appointments, plus the added safety factors of good handling.
Covering the Rex Mays Memorial Race in Milwaukee has become a habit. This stop is a must when you follow the USAC Championship Trail. The promoter, Tom Marchese, stages this annual event 1 week after the Indianapolis 500 and features the same cars and drivers, but on a shorter 1 mile track. And with only 150 miles to the checkered flag, it's a flat-out run-for-the-money race. As per usual, there was a sellout crowd on hand to watch some of the biggest names in the business.
All of the cars had a clean, fresh look. The drivers looked eager and ready. And this really comes as no little surprise in that 1 week ago, these same men and machines were locked up in a 500-mile battle called the Indianapolis 500. By comparison, this 150-mile event should seem like a short sprint race. With all drivers cooled off and in their cars, the signal was given to start engines, and suddenly the ground shook with the sounds of power. Having had the fastest qualifying lap, Bobby Unser starts up front on the pole. Joey Leonard in the Samsonite Ford starts alongside. A.J. Foyt and Lloyd Ruby are in the second row. Mario Andretti starts in the 7th position, and the Indianapolis winner, Al Unser, in the 9th spot. The green flag is out, and suddenly the beer capital of the world comes alive with sound. Leonard leaps off the outside pole position to grab the lead going into the second turn. At the end of the first lap, it's Joey Leonard, Bobby Unser second, Lloyd Ruby third, and A.J. Foyt in the 4th slot. Laps into the race, and Al Unser has already moved up behind Foyt to take over 5th. That Johnny Lightning car is swift, and he could be the boy to watch. Al Unser is in a hurry and passes Foyt in the 4th turn to take the number 4 position. The trouble starts early for Rick Buther as he brings his number 54 turbine car into the pits. Joey Leonard kicks that Ford hard, trying to stretch the rest of the field. And down the back chute, Al Unser passes brother Bobby to take second. And the Johnny Lightning Ford is coming on. On the 18th lap, Raj McCluskey wheels his Sprite Special into the pits with the throttle stuck. He shuts it down, climbs out of the car, and out of the race. In turn 1, Andretti gets a wheel on the inside of Lloyd Ruby and drives through. Joey Leonard is still the leader, but now Al Unser has closed the gap and is in striking distance. Raj McCluskey has a dejected look as he walks down pit road, similar to the expression Foyt has when his crew tells him his car has carburetor trouble and they'll have to push it behind the wall. On the 63rd lap, Donnie Allison in number 83 pits with an oil leak, and the other Foyt team car goes out of the race. On the 64th lap, the yellow came out when Jimmy Carruthers spun in the 3rd turn, and half the field takes this opportunity to pit. The The first and second place cars are both in. Leonard at number 15, Al Unser in 1. Both cars go out together, and here's the drag down pit road that put Unser in the lead on the restart. Al Unser has the lead now, but Joey challenges him on every turn. Bobby Unser is third, 16, Gary Bettenhausen fourth. Out of the fourth turn, and both cars are flat out. Unser the leader, Leonard second. Both drivers at the top. Both cars are evenly matched. And now Bobby Unser brings his Olsenite Offie in and finds out he's out of the race with injector trouble. Meanwhile, the battle on the track continues. Al Unser can't stretch Joey Leonard, and Leonard can't pass to take the lead. The way these two cars are matched, it looks like Unser took the lead at the only time he could in the pit. With only a few laps to go, Andretti pulls his STP special off the back chute and onto the grass. It was later learned that he was suffering from second-degree burns of the hand. The white flag is out. It's one more lap and one more mile for this race. The Johnny Lightning Special rips out of the fourth turn and screams under the checkered flag. It's 2 weekends, 2 races, 2 wins, and back-to-back victories make any driver mighty happy. It took Al Unser 1 hour, 18 minutes to earn $17,485. And those aren't bad wages.
Hey, if we hurry, it'll be a dead tie. It looks like the clock and the film will run out at the same time. I hope you can make it back next week. We'll have more of the top drivers and wheel-to-wheel action that makes auto racing #1.